Please welcome your host from NASCAR.com, Kim Coon.
Hello. Thank you, guys. I'm so excited to be a part of this special evening with Hendrick Motorsports. But first, I want to welcome the fans watching live on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live. You guys have a front row seat for what is going to be a very exciting night. And then look at this unbelievable crowd in Charlotte. How are you guys doing tonight? Good? How about the fans from the NASCAR Hall of Fame? How are y'all? You guys are awesome. So tonight, you guys are going to get a first look at the 2018 Hendrick Motorsports lineup. And of course, as you can see, awaiting the Chevrolet Camaro paint schemes, you're going to see racing in the 2018 Daytona 500. Pretty cool, right? This is the first time Hendrick has ever unveiled all 4 cars at the same time. So again, a very special night, a very unique night. And with that, I think I need to welcome some special guests here. I'm happy to introduce the driver of the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 in 2018, Chase Elliott, joined by his dad, 1988 NASCAR Cup Series champion and Hall of Famer, Bill Elliott. Next up, the driver of the number 24 Exalta Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 in 2018, William Byron, joined by 4-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, the legend, Jeff Gordon. They call him 7-time, the driver of the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 in 2018, 7-time and defending NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson, joined by owner of Hendrick Motorsports and 12-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, Mr. Rick Hendrick. And finally, last but not least, the driver of the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 in 2018, Alex Bowman, joined by your 14-time NASCAR Cup Series most popular driver, Mr. Dale Earnhardt Jr. All right, let's give these guys one more round of applause. All right, Mr. H, I want to have a quick word with you. 2018 is shaping up to be a very interesting year for your organization, and 2017 has been a newsworthy year for Hendrick Motorsports. But how cool is it for you to see all these people come together to do this unveiling, see the lineup for 2018?
Well, this is the first time that we've ever done this, to unveil next year's cars this early, and to have our sponsors, the fans, everyone here tonight is so special, and we're really excited. I'm excited about this new Camaro, and we have the street cars over here, the 1LE in the corner, so I can't wait to get these cars on the track.
I can't either, and I know you guys can't wait. Are you guys ready to unveil the cars? You think so? I know they gave you some glow sticks, so I'm going to have you guys use those glow sticks and help me count down. Do you think you can do that? If I give you a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is fast in the race. Alex Bowman has led early on, 93 laps.
This could be 3 in a row for that 48 car.
Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. Jimmie Johnson wins in
What a victory for the 2014.
19-year-old open wheel sensation Jeff Gordon from Pittsburgh, Indiana.
Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400.
William Byron wins at Indy.
19 years old, he is the youngest to win a NASCAR race at Indianapolis.
Two-time winner of the Great American Race. Car number 9, the pride of Georgia, Bill Elliott.
Chase from the same place as Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
Chase Elliott, dramatic finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, your 2018 Hendrick Motorsports lineup. Give it up for them. All right, we've introduced them. We've made them stand here. Now it's time to talk to them. So I'm going to ask that Alex come join me over here. Jimmie, William, Chase, come on over. Put you guys in the hot seat. Chase, I want to start with you. Yeah, the Napa 9 is back. How does it feel to see that and to have your dad here with you?
Yeah, it's awesome. That car and that number, it turned out great. Great to have the Napa colors back on. I didn't realize this until today, but I've been with them for 5 years starting next year, which is pretty wild. And to know, what they've done for me and that, really how far that partnership has brought me. So I appreciate their willingness to change it up. I think the car turned out great, and really all the cars look great. So I'm excited to see them on track.
William, Exalta brought the flames back. You heard the audience reaction. How cool is this opportunity for you to be with the number 24 team?
Yeah, it's really special. Jeff Gordon started out with Exalta, and Mr. H took a chance on him, and that's what we were talking about is we kind of had similar ages, similar career paths, and it's really neat to carry their colors to Daytona next year, and just super excited about that. So thankful for this opportunity for Mr. H and everyone at Hendrick, and the car looks great.
All the cars look great, including that number 88. Alex, I heard that Nationwide actually asked you to help design it. Had you ever done anything like that before, and what was the experience like?
No, it was really cool. Something that I've never been able to be a part of as far as stock car stuff goes before was doing all the design work. So going through all the ideas and everything was really special to have a hand in that, and I can't thank them enough for that. It was cool to have myself do it and Greg be a part of it and the whole team be a part of it. It was really special.
Gives you a little more ownership of the car, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. I know it was big for Dale to be a part of the design side of things, so it's cool to kind of carry that over.
And Jimmie, for you, a different look for you and Lowe's. Very, very cool. This is the first time you're actually getting to see the car in the flesh. What are your thoughts on not only the car, but then your teammates for 2018?
I'm very excited about my Lowe's for Pros car, and the pro service side of things at Lowe's is very important, and it's going to be great to have all those pros cheering me on as next season takes place. And then I'm just excited for the look of all of Hendrick Motorsports. The cars look great. Great lineup of drivers, and beautiful Camaro that we're going to be racing.
Very good. Now I'm going to invite Dale, come on over. Bill, you can come join us over here too. Put you guys in the hot seat. Bill, sharp-looking car over there. The Napa 9, what does that mean to you and your family?
Well, you know, to look at the whole generation, I mean, it was a great opportunity for us for Chase to drive Jeff's car the last couple of years, and that opportunity. But for me, it's fun to see him in the 9 car. We grew up, you know, I grew up driving the 9 all the years, and then Chase, I've watched him on the short tracks drive the 9 car, and through the Nationwide, then Xfinity, and then on to drive the 24 in the Cup side. And I think it'll be fun. I think the fans it'll be well received from the fan side, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think
we're all. The only problem is it don't have my name on it.
At least it's got the Elliott part, right?
That's true.
I think we're all excited. Now, Jeff, you're going to be in the broadcast booth for Williams' first race in the number 24. What are your expectations in his rookie season?
Well, I'm extremely excited about this youth movement that's happening within the whole sport, but especially here at Hendrick Motorsports, to be able to blend a 7-time champion, his experience with Jimmie Johnson, with this young, talented group of drivers. I think it's very exciting for Hendrick as well as for the sport in general. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the flames on this race car, on this 24 car. And I just think William is, his rise to this level, I've never seen anything like it. Anybody get there faster than he has, and it's because he's earned it. He has incredible talent. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Maybe a little jealous that you're not driving this Chevy Camaro?
I'm jealous of this whole event because of all the years that I drove a car for Hendrick, we never unveiled like this. This is amazing, and I think it shows the commitment that Hendrick and Chevy and Camaro and all of our sponsors and drivers have the next year.
Dale, for you, I know that you kind of helped lobby for Alex to be in the car. You're going to be passing the torch to Alex next season. Is it safe to say you think the number 88 team is in safe hands with Mr. Bowman?
Oh, yeah, he proved that every opportunity he's had to get in the car. Alex is a great guy, and I'm excited to see what he can do with a full season under his belt. I was just telling these guys, I can't pick which one's my favorite out of the bunch here tonight. These cars look incredible. They're going to be awesome out on the racetrack next year, and Hendrick's going to have an amazing season.
Very good. Mr. H, I'll have you join me up here for some final thoughts. Now, you know, we talked backstage how cool this was going to be. Now that they've been unveiled, we're going to see these cars on track for the 2018 Daytona 500. What is your takeaway from these beautiful paint schemes?
You know, the Camaro #1 is so iconic with Chevrolet, and we've never had a chance to race it in the Cup Series, and so I'm super excited about that. But I want the sponsors to come up with these paint schemes and approve it and get it together for this event. I want to thank them for that. And it's so cool for me to stand here and see Bill Elliott stand beside a 9 car. And I was thinking about Jeff. I could see Jeff's eyes watering because I think he wanted to get in and drive it. But to see,
standing awfully close.
Oh yeah, he's real close. You know, just to see William, what he's been able to do. You know, this tonight is really special for us because we get to thank the fans, we get to thank our sponsors and Chevrolet, and show the look for next year. And I'm just thrilled. We got a lot of work to do this year. We can't look past these races. Chase and Jimmie, they're in the Chase. But I love the cars. I mean, it's. You know, I might just keep these show cars and put them in the museum. I don't want to get them scratched up and beat up, but But no, this is really, really cool. I want to thank the fans. They have supported us and the sport. Thank you. You're the best fans in the world, and we want to continue to put on a good show for you. But, you know, to me, to have these guys and to have Dale supporting Alex and Jeff supporting William, and, of course, Bill supporting Chase, you know, and I'm supporting Jimmie. But it's just this is really special, and a special night, and I hope everybody is excited about the drivers and the lineup and the cars. You know, I got a sneak peek today. I even said I didn't think we had Camaros built this yet, and I came in here and looked to make sure there were Camaros, you know. But so I'm super excited, and just thank everybody for being here.
I know we still have 7 races left in the 2017 season. You likened that. But not to put any pressure on our 2018 lineup for Hendrick Motorsports, but what's your expectation of this team as they take on next season?
Well, you know, the rest of this year or next year?
Next year.
Next year. Well, I'm excited about it. You know, we work hard together. You know, the rest of this year, I expect Dale to win a race, Jimmie to win a championship, you know, Chase to win a race. I want one of you guys to win the championship. I want both of you to be.
I don't know that you can see Chase's reaction.
Would you like to see both of them at Homestead? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 50-50 shot at Hendrick winning the championship.
But no, you know, listen, I'm just real excited about next year. I mean, it's just to see and watch Jeff Gordon come in and blossom to be the champion he is. Also, Jimmie. You know, Jimmie came in, did the same thing. It was an honor to have Dale Earnhardt drive a car. My son said it was going to happen. I thought it never would, and hate to see him retire. But then I look at Chase. We've been together for, I don't know, about 6-7 years, right? And so real excited. And William, of course, he was trick-or-treating at my daughter's house not that long ago. So, and he told me when he was 14 years old he was going to end up doing this. And it was just, so I'm just really, really excited. So it's going to be a lot of fun next year.
I think we're all excited. Is it too early to pre-order diecast for these? Because they are beautiful cars. Mr. H, thank you so much. Let's thank the star-studded group right up here. One more time for them. Now, for those of you watching on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live, do not go anywhere. The show is not over. We're actually going to dive a little bit deeper with each of these guys and get exclusive interviews with them. Now, for the media, we're going to invite still photographers and cameras up here for a photo op. Once that is over, we will then invite the rest of the media to meet for breakouts at each of the cars. So again, still photography and cameras up here first. And then I'm going to throw it over. Again, thank you guys for having me. This event has been awesome. On behalf of Hendrick, thank you all for being here. But I'm going to throw it over to my co-host, Jonathan Merriman. And we're going to, again, stay tuned on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live. We have a lot more headed your way. Good evening.
Thanks, Kim. Certainly a wonderful night here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, unveiling these very special paint schemes for the Great American Race, the 2018 Daytona 500. Of course, we have to start with that number 9 car. Chase Elliott returning back to his roots, the 9 car. His dad took that to 38 wins in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Chase certainly looking to build on that legacy next year in that car. And then the 24 returns as well, but we have a passing of the torch, so to speak, with the flames back on the Exalta car. Jeff Gordon certainly made those famous when he was in that car. William Byron, he will be the pilot of the number 24 next year. And then, of course, Jimmie Johnson, he's back in black. Of course, he has those lucky highlighter 48 numbers on the side that give him so much luck. And Jimmie, chasing his 8th title this year, certainly looks to build on his impressive resume coming on to next year. And then Alex Bowman, the kid, in the very sleek looking blue and white nationwide Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, pardon me there. But yeah, 4 great paint schemes, 4 very slick paint schemes, a lot of new at Hendrick Motorsports, a lot of youth coming in as well. So that certainly will be welcome. We're going to get Kim Kuhn to come back up on stage. Kim, a lot of news today. New paint schemes, new drivers, everything. So what was that like? It's exciting.
That was a lot of fun. I thought Bill Elliott's comments were really funny, how he was jealous of Chase. And then Gordon didn't seem to want to move away from the 24.
Well, Gordon might have been a little bit confused because that looks exactly like the car that he ran for so many years. You see those guys are up there taking pictures around those cars now, but it's just something about the flames and a neon 24. It kind of, I mean, that was kind of the pinnacle of my height of fandom there.
Yeah, I also really love the yellow 48. The numbers, the yellow numbers. I think the fans are really excited about that.
Well, if you know anything about Jimmie Johnson, Jimmie Johnson's very partial to the highlighter yellow on his race car. He put that on there. They didn't have it. They went away from it for a little while, and then last year he put it on there, and he started running better, and he ended up tying Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt with 7 titles. So.
Maybe some good mojo comes with the highlighter yellow. But it was interesting. I'm really glad that we had a live audience. Obviously, we're very, very happy that you guys are watching live on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live, but having a live audience here in studio, because when they unveiled the cars, the reaction, like, people lost their breath. You heard oohs, you heard ahs, so it was really cool to get that live reaction right here on site to the car unveilings.
So I'm looking forward to digging in a little bit deeper with some of these drivers that they had up on stage and some former drivers that will be of next year. Speaking of that,
some Hall of Famers.
I think we've got one of them coming up.
Yeah,
Dale Jr.,
come on.
Man of the Hour. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
All right, so the first thing I have to ask you is you were a bit of a snob in the world of paint scheme design. So Alex had his hand in this car. Did you have your hand in this car, and what do you think? What was the final product like for you?
I really do like all 4 cars a lot, and I hadn't seen any of them up until tonight. Alex has had involvement in this car. I haven't been involved in it. You know, it's time for him to take over and, you know, take the reins and take the wheel. So I think it's a good-looking race car, and it's going to show up on the racetrack. All of them look great, especially as Camaros. This is a real exciting car for Chevrolet and for Chevrolet fans, and I'm one of them. So it's a big night for Hendrick Motorsports as well to be able to unveil all these together. Great for all the sponsors and fans to be involved.
You know, we touched on this with Jeff. Jeff obviously in the booth for Fox, but you're in the booth next year for NBC. What's it going to be like for you calling the 88 on track instead of being behind the wheel?
I had a chance to do that in a clash earlier this year. It was fun. I was, you know, I think it's okay to, I mean, I'm human, and I'm going to have rooting interest for Alex because of our friendship and because of knowing his past and how hard he's worked. So that may come through in some of my emotion, but I'll be the first to call him out too when he deserves it, I guess. But I hope he doesn't deserve it too often. I don't expect that too much, but it's going to be a new territory for me to be in that position, and hopefully I handle it well. But if I don't, I'll get some direction from my bosses and get steered in the right way and figure out what to do next time. But I know that you have to be somewhat, you know, down the middle when you're calling those races, and you can't play favorites but you know, there's people know my history with this team, and I'm still going to have a ton of friends on the 88 car that I'm going to be watching and rooting for, and so that's just going to be part of it, I think.
Well, you have to go back to the 1993 Daytona 500. You heard Ned Jarrett calling Dale.
That's exactly.
Jarrett, and you could hear the excitement in his voice.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what
I think people understand.
Think about when I think about that. Obviously, you know, Ned had an incredibly great excuse to be cheering his son, but I'll definitely be pulling for that 88 for a long time, and obviously I'm gonna have some involvement as well because I'll still work with Nationwide, and there'll be some things that I do with the team behind the scenes, so to help Rick. So that's going to be part of that's something that I'm personally interested in, so I'm excited about that.
Talk about the 9. You fielded the 9 with Chase Elliott at Junior Motorsports for a number of years. He ended up winning the 2014 Xfinity Series title. How big is that Napa was on board to go back to that 9 and that paint scheme and all that? I mean, that's a big ask for a sponsor.
Exactly. That is a real difficult decision because you got to think about all the marketing, all the things that are printed, made, created behind the 24 Napa Chase Elliott campaign, and it's also you sort of build some equity in that relationship and that combination. It was just kind of the perfect storm, so we could make a big shift with William coming in, and I don't know. Chase may be the happiest guy in the room tonight because of this opportunity to drive the number that means so much to him and his father. So I was pulling for that when I heard the earliest rumblings of that coming about. I was pulling very, very hard for that because I know it was important to Chase, and he's at this point in his career. It's not too early or too late, I guess, to make that change. And it's still something that he could do. I think if he'd have went a few more years down the road with a 24, you build equity in that relationship, and it starts to mean something to the sponsors. It gets harder to do the further down the road you go. So it's good to make the change now. He can start to build some more heritage to that number and the history that it has.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. You still have 7 races left to this season, and you guys had a great run at Dover. Do you feel like you kind of have hit on something recently?
I do. I really do. We ran pretty good at Darlington. No, we really not a lot of people noticed the speed that the car had that weekend. We went to Richmond with some of the same principles, and were able to really people coming up after the race like, wow, y'all really ran good. And we carried some of those same ideas to Dover and came off the truck really fast. So Greg and the guys are applying a lot of great ideas and things that are helping our cars find speed, and you're seeing it across the whole company. The HMS guys all ran good in Dover, and Charlotte, oddly enough, some of the stuff that we do at Dover transfers to Charlotte for whatever reason, and Jimmie will even tell you that. So I'm excited about this weekend and seeing how we do at Charlotte, because it's been a track that I've struggled with over the last couple trips, and it's our home track. We're right down the street and grew up right around this area, so I'd like to have a good run this weekend.
All right, well, I think the boss man, Mr. H, is somewhere ready to come up on stage in just a few seconds here. Here he is. He came through the back door. He snuck up on us.
He snuck on up.
Well, Rick Hendrick, Mr. H, he can do about just whatever he wants to tonight. This is your night for your company, and just talk about how special it is to get 4 sponsors to come together and share time to kind of make this spectacle happen.
I really appreciate what the sponsors did, but I didn't know we had built 4 Camaros. I mean, I came in here this morning and looked under the cover because I didn't think they were Camaros, but it's this is so special to be able to show the cars this early with the drivers, and all the input from all of our sponsors made it possible, and we're just real excited. I get fired up. I'm like Dale. It's hard for me to pick one of the cars because I like them all. They don't stay like this, but they're pretty nice tonight, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We haven't really ever seen anything like this type of unveiling with all of the cars. What kind of sparked the idea to do this?
It's actually our marketing group, Pat Perkins and Jesse Essex said, we ought to think about doing an unveil because we were changing the numbers, and we were gonna, so they said, be cool to do it. And then as it started, they said, what would really be cool if we could get, Dale here and Jeff here and the guys that are going to be in the cars, and that was really special. And when I walked in tonight, it was just, I was so proud of what they'd put together, and it's so cool. I can't believe we've never done it before, but I think it's going to be something that people are going to start doing now.
I think one of the biggest shocks was the fact that Jimmie Johnson, kind of the white hat of the garage, is going to a black race car next year. What were your thoughts when you saw that black 48?
Well, the first time when I saw it, I couldn't believe it, when they told me it was mainly black. But that Pro Series is what they're promoting, and that's the colors they use. So, it's different. It's a beautiful car. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. It's a real dark color and deep, and that's got some flat black on it as well. A lot of great character lines. Some of the trim on the car with the white looks really good. I like the neon numbers, and I know Jimmie likes the neon numbers, and he's always enjoyed having those. And I think this car is going to stand out on the racetrack really well.
I like the flames on the 24. I like the neon against the black. I think it's going to really pop, and I like the white on the 88 car, and I like it all. I think it's exciting to be able to look into the future. But I think one of the things I'm the most excited about is the Camaro. Being a dealer and knowing what that car means to us in the showroom, but to race it on the weekends. We race it in Xfinity now, but I've got a couple of the Camaros here, that 1LE, a 200-mile-an-hour Camaro you buy off the showroom floor with all the wings and all that. That's just a monster of a car. And so to have that car on the track for our customers and fans, I'm super excited about that.
Win on Sunday, buy on Monday. The old saying, right?
I was about to say that. I know you said you didn't have a favorite, but I was talking about how cool it was when they unveiled to have a live audience here and hear the reaction. You heard gasps, you heard people oohing and ahhing. Were there any surprises when the cars were being unveiled in terms of different than you pictured it was going to be in the flesh?
All of them. You know, I hadn't seen. I stayed away from all the drawings, and I had my granddaughter in here this morning, and we just let them peek under the cover. And I didn't pull the whole cover off, so I didn't get to see the rest of the car. I had no idea the 9 had that much pearl on it, and that's a beautiful car. And that, you know, the numbers really pop, and the sponsors pop. All of them were, you know, I think for me, a lot of the guys, we hadn't seen the cars in the flesh either. So the fans get to see them. Folks at home get to see them when we see them, and that's, you know, I think that's the coolest part about this whole night.
Now you had about, not just your granddaughter here today, but you had about 30 or 40 kids come in here, and they were all making a big deal.
It was 80. It was 80 kids, and Jesse Essex about had a stroke because they all had phones, and you know, we were like, don't take any pictures, you know, because that would have ruined the night if somebody had taken the pictures. But it was super cool, and just to see everybody's response, to see the new look, the new numbers, you know, everything's new.
All right, Dale, well, I think we're going to let you get out of here. We're going to let you escape. We're going to trap Jeff Gordon up here.
Swap.
Bring him on up. But Rick, as you mentioned, I mean, the small details on these cars go a long way. I know that the Z01 has something called the flow tie, which is kind of the hollowed out badge, and even that transfers to the race car. Listen,
that is one of the most awesome cars that GM's ever built, and it's so iconic. If you go back to the first Camaro Z28 in 1967, if you've got a Z28 today, you take it to Barrett Jackson. If it's a nice car and matching numbers, it'll bring in $125,000, $150,000. So the car has such a rich heritage, and that 1LE is Jeff's driven one, paced Daytona with one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I drove it about 100 feet. I'm looking forward to driving it a little bit more.
But it's just it's an awesome car, and again, the styling, the looks, the aggressive stance the car has. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am about that car being in the lineup next year.
Jeff, I don't know if you had a chance to see William Byron's face when they pulled that car cover off, because everyone was staring at that car, but his jaw just about hit the ground when he saw those flames on that race car. What were your thoughts?
Well, I love, today spending time with William. Been with him for a few hours now, and when we did the walk through, and we didn't see the unveil. Nobody pulled the covers off, but I could just tell, here he is, coming into the Cup Series, getting ready for 2018, and he's a part of an unveil like this. Everything is dropping his jaw down to the floor, and I think it's so cool to see a kid and how this impacts him and what his life's going to be like from this point forward. Reminds me a lot about when this guy took a chance on me. and Exalta took a chance on me, and I think a lot of the same things are happening to William, and it's really cool to see it from this side and watch, and I think a lot of great things are still ahead.
Obviously, Williams got some big shoes to fill. You paved the way in the number 24. Chase has done a great job with it. He's now moving over to the 9. Have you offered William any words of advice how to make that car his own?
I'm not really too concerned with that because I think what he does on the track speaks for itself. I mean, one of the things I'm so impressed with this year watching him in the Xfinity Series, and yeah, I was impressed in the Truck Series, but I thought, well, his trucks are the best trucks out there. Let's see what he does when he goes into a more competitive series like the Xfinity Series, and he's impressed me of how he drives like a veteran, but yet he's got that youthfulness and that desire to just push the limits of the car. He's going to bring that to the Cup Series. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's exciting. I think that's exciting for 24 fans out there. Yeah, he's young, but everything he's gotten behind the wheel of, he's excelled. He's succeeded, and I anticipate him doing the same thing. You know, when you're young, you're a sponge. You're a quick learner. And whether it be a simulator or behind the wheel of an actual race car, the kid just picks things up so fast.
Well, I think Rick has a couple of things to do. Mr. H is a busy man tonight, so we're going to let you go and take care of your other obligations. We appreciate you letting us be a part of this tonight. It was certainly a special deal.
Well, thank you guys for being here and NASCAR.com to be a part of this. I mean, you made it special and helped us plan it, and thank you so much for all you've done. Y'all did a great job, and we're just excited about the whole deal. One last thing, I didn't mention Alex when I was talking about the drivers, and Alex's hero is Tim Richmond. And so I told him tonight, I said, I want you to stand on the gas like Tim Richmond. He said, you can count on it. So I'm excited about it.
And he's going to show up in a white suit.
Yeah, right? And do the photo shoot with the flames in the background. I love that iconic Tim Richmond photo shoot.
Half unzipped, chest hair.
I don't know if Alex has enough chest hair.
I don't want to do all of that.
Yeah, he can tell you both sides of the good. And
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. H. With that, we'll welcome up
Alex Bowman.
Alex Bowman.
You mean Tim Richmond?
I got to ask you, Jeff, from a production side, you know, obviously I mentioned you being in the booth. These paint schemes are so iconic. They're so sharp. As somebody calling the race, is it easier to call cars when they're as sharp as these?
Yeah, I mean, certainly when you take things that stand out, make a car stand out versus other cars, you know, there's nothing tougher than when two cars, whether they're from the same team or different teams, look very similar and alike. And what I love about this is all of them are unique to themselves. Of course, when you have the fluorescent colors, and one of the reasons why Exalta did that from the beginning was they wanted their car to stand out. You're going to see that with the flames on the 24 car. Go to the 9, you know, adding that pearl white in there and changing some of those stripes. I think that's really, really cool. Even the differences with the nationwide paint scheme. I think Jimmie's, you know, he stands out because he's always in the front. So, you know, I think with his, that flat black is just such a cool classic paint scheme. So I think we've got it covered, but it's certainly going to be fun to watch these cars and call it from the booth.
All right, Alex, at 88, that's a lot better looking than that simulator, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. I can't wait to get to the racetrack with it. Obviously, we still got a ways till February, but really looking forward to it. I think it looks great. It was really cool to kind of have a hand in designing it a little bit. I've never been able to do that before, so I had a lot of fun with that, and I think it came out great.
What's that process like, designing a Cup car that's going to race in the 500?
Well, it was really quick. It was a lot faster than I thought it would be. I think our first meeting on it was maybe a month and a half ago, and then we got a couple different options, and then we picked an option that we liked, and we started kind of tweaking from there. So I'm not a graphic designer. I didn't sit there on like whatever program they use, but it was really cool to just be able to go through all the different designs, because we had quite a few of them, and they all looked amazing. So I mean, we could have picked any one of them, and they would have been just as cool. So I think this one came out great, though.
I know Dale has had his hand in designing a lot of his cars. Obviously, they let you help in this one. Do you think in the future there's opportunities for you to help design cars, you know, from here on out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of what the plan is. I think it was really cool that Dale did that, and I think some of the fans kind of liked that he designed his own car. So I figured they gave me the opportunity to do it. They asked me if I wanted to, and I was like, heck yeah, it'd be awesome. So really, really enjoyed doing it.
Jeff, you're kind of the anchor of Hendrick Motorsports. You've been there just about as long as anybody, maybe other than Mr. H himself. This whole landscape next year is going to look totally different. There's a lot of youth there, and of course Jimmy's there with all the experience all in one ride. But how much different is that, and how kind of shocking is it when you kind of step back and look at that from a distance?
Well, obviously with Dale stepping out this year, myself and Tony and Carl, we'd never like to see change as fans, and I'm a fan of the sport. And when you see that change, you go, oh my gosh, at first you kind of step back in shock. But what I'm excited about is the opportunity that it gives young, talented drivers that are out there waiting for their moment, waiting for that opportunity. And next year, mixing that with Jimmie Johnson's experience, as well as, Chase is going to be going into his third season. I think those two mixed with Alex and William, I think is going to be amazing. And I think it's going to be not just great for Hendrick Motorsports and this new Camaro, but for the sport in general. I mean, there's other young guys that are out there like Blaney and Larson and Austin and Ty Dillon, Suarez. There's just Eric Jones. There's a lot of great young talent, and they're going to be the future superstars. And I think that's really cool for the sport, and I can't wait to see that.
And Alex is one of those young stars. Like I mentioned, Dale kind of passing the torch to you. But not only that, he helped you get in that ride. We saw him lobbying just how great of a job you did when you had the opportunity to ride in the 88. What did that mean to you, not only to drive the 88 in Dale's absence, but to have him have your back and say, man, this guy, he knows what he's doing. I want to see him in the car when I'm gone.
It meant the world to me. Obviously, I drove for Dale a little bit in 2014 and quite a bit last year. But driving the 88 car last year was so much fun. I didn't know if I was ever going to get the opportunity to drive a Hendrick Motorsports Cup car again. So I just had the most fun with it I possibly could, and I had a blast. So to see Dale give me as much support as he did, it meant the world to me. He's been so big for my career. He could have called plenty of other people when he was out, and for some reason he decided to call me, and it completely changed my life. So this whole situation is just a dream come true. And I couldn't be any happier.
Can I just add to that? Because the reason he's sitting here right now is because of what he did behind the wheel in that 88 car. Because I had a chance to do something similar, and I don't know if I've ever felt as much pressure trying to fill in for Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. Everybody's watching, wanting to see, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And the job that he did, I mean, yeah, we all focused on Phoenix, but he did just as outstanding a job at other races that he was behind the wheel. His interaction with the team, his interaction with the sponsors, and then having Dale's back. That's why he's sitting here, and why I think amazing things are going to come out of that 88 team next year.
I like how Jeff asked if he can jump in. You've got 4 Cup titles to your name. You can do whatever you want to on this stage, but he alluded to your success at Phoenix. After 8 starts in that 88 car, you put that thing on the pole. You contended for the win there at the end. Some late race, action there kind of took you guys out, but you have to have confidence to drive these race cars. Are you confident that you can go out and win 1 or 2 races, in your first full-time season in that 88?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like we can do more than that if things go our way. It's not my first season Cup racing. I've got, I think, 70 or 80-something Cup starts. So I feel like I have a lot of experience in my corner. At the same time, it's been a year, so hopefully I kind of can pick up right where we left off. But we were so strong at the end of 2016, and Hendrick Motorsports brings such good equipment to the racetrack every week. Greg Ives is so smart. Everybody on that 88 team is so good. I think this new Camaro is going to be great for us. I think there's a lot of things that are going our way that point to a great year for the 88 car and all of Hendrick Motorsports.
All right, Alex, we're going to keep you on stage. Jeff, we're going to cut you loose.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah, kick me out.
Well, you're stuck with us for a couple more minutes, man. But just talk about the whirlwind that has been, the past 3 years of your life.
Yeah, it's been kind of like a roller coaster. Lots of ups and downs. Obviously, came into the Cup Series driving for small teams. It was a little interesting, but I got a lot of experience from that and had a lot of fun with it. So now we got William Byron up here. He started racing last year, and he's already in the Cup Series. It's amazing. So glad to have you.
Yeah, man. Your car looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
We're trying to figure out whose looks better between yours and mine.
Yours looks clean. I like it.
Yeah. I think they all look pretty good.
Looks good on a Camaro, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, William, your jaw hit the floor when you saw those flames on the side of that car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure Daytona 500 next year.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's ever won in the 24 in the Cup Series, and that is Jeff Gordon. You're taking over his number, a very, very famous paint scheme. So, I mean, nerves going into Daytona, or is it just another day in the life of Slick Willie B?
It's definitely nerve-wracking. I think, you know, when I saw that paint scheme, that's the first time I've really seen it. You know, I've seen some rough drafts and stuff, but, you know, my eyes lit up. It's just so cool to see it on a race car and really see all 4 of our cars on there. So, you know, super excited about Daytona, and it's going to be a lot of pressure, but looking forward to it.
I want to touch on that pressure because you guys are both filling big shoes. We kind of touched on it with Jeff in terms of did he offer you any advice on how to make it your own. But for each of you, obviously you're taking over the ride for Dale Earnhardt Jr. You're taking over for Chase Elliott, but Jeff Gordon paved the way. For each of you, what kind of is your plan or strategy to make those cars and those teams your own?
For me, it's just that I'm myself. You know, I'm not Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to be myself, and I need to go win races and contend for a championship. I mean, that's kind of all there is to it. You know, I'm very appreciative of Junior Nation and all their support. Hopefully they'll still be cheering for 88 car on Sundays, but we just plan on going and winning races, and I'm going to have the most fun I can.
Yeah, I think, you know, hopefully Alex and I can be the next 2 young guys coming up and have a lot of success next year. And I think you know, he's shown a lot on the racetrack. Watching him kind of pave the way for what I was going to do. He was in kind of the same Xfinity car that I am this year. So, you know, we're hopefully going to have a great year next year and be able to prove ourselves and really go out and win races. So we want to win races, and I think we're going to have the cars to do it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, Alex, we're going to cut you loose, and we're going to swap Bowman for Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
See you guys.
Chase Elliott's pop's coming up. Bill Elliott's on
Just
deck.
Chase Elliott's dad,
You know,
no big deal.
how are you?
Hall of Famer. Welcome.
It's not every day we're joined by, you know, Hall of Famers. Rick
Yes.
Hendrick's obviously a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon's a future Hall of Famer, but what's it like?
He's definitely a Wall of Shamer.
There you go. Well, what's it like seeing Chase's name above a car that's got a 9 on the door?
It's got the wrong first name on it, I said. Now, it's a great opportunity. I mean, Chase grew up in the 9, and even though from my legacy, from where it came from, and it just seemed like it was a little weird seeing him in a 24 car last year, I will admit, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, you know, because you know, Jeff has done so much with a 24 car and what he brought to that number. And, you know, and Chase was able to get in and sit on the pole at Daytona, and a lot of things that we accomplished the last year and a half or so. But yet to go back to the 9 car, I mean, he feels strongly about the 9. He really enjoyed that number throughout his racing career, and I think it's great to see him back in that.
I know we would like to see Chase win his first Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race
This
the first
weekend would be
time.
great.
I know this weekend would be great. I know we want to see it happen before the end of the season, but selfishly, does part of you want to see him get his first Cup Series win in the number 9?
No, I think of the 24 big.
Okay.
I mean, that would be fine. I mean, from my standpoint, you know, regardless of what you're driving, you know, pickup truck, Chevy Camaro, whatever, I think it all works out very well. But you know, he's done a great job, and just circumstances sometimes don't always go your way in anything we do. And but we'll see how it goes, and hopefully he can get it into 24 and then make it up in the 9. But if not, best of luck to William here for next year. And big step, a lot of things going on, and great opportunity here in Hendrick Motorsports and what they've done in the new Camaro. So we'll see.
So everyone always asks, what advice do you give Chase since he's a young guy? What advice would you give a rookie going into the Daytona 500 in one of the most famous numbers in the sport?
Hang on. I mean, it's just one of those races that Daytona is more about survival than anything. I mean, it's just one of those races that anything can happen, and usually does. And that's the hardest part about you can't school anybody about it. It's just something that it unfolds, and you could win a race, or you could end up in the garage. You know, that's just kind of the way the race goes.
Are you ready to hold on, William?
Yeah, I'm ready to hold on. It's definitely, Daytona's a interesting one. It's kind of a fun one to start out on, I guess. It's going to be a lot of unknowns, but, you know, definitely excited about it and ready to race with Chase and have all these guys as teammates. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You're sitting next to a Hall of Famer, and you're going to be in what essentially is a Hall of Fame car. What does this mean to you, just this moment?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, Bill and I got to talk a couple weeks ago and got some great advice from him. So just trying to learn from him and all the resources we have at HMS. It's there's Hall of Famers everywhere you look, pretty much. So that's pretty special. It's not like any other race team to have that. So it's pretty cool.
You make it look easier maybe than anybody has in the past. Coming in the Truck Series, knocking out a record number of wins for a rookie in that series. You come into the Xfinity Series, you're the youngest guy to win a NASCAR race at Indy. So what's the secret, or is there a secret? Or you just, how do you come in first year to these series and just start knocking things down?
I don't know. I think it's kind of a testament to the hard work going on behind the scenes. Obviously there's a lot that goes on the weekend, and trying to get that communication right between you and your crew chief and the whole team there. So I feel like, when I was growing up, I was racing late models, and I was watching Chase and watching other guys run at JRM and have success. So I've just tried to kind of emulate that and keep progressing, and it's worked out so far. And I never would have imagined it's worked out to this level, but it's definitely special, and very thankful for Mr. Hendrick and everyone. So I would say the biggest thing is just trying to capitalize on the opportunity.
For each of you, past and present, I know a lot of times we talk about how dress affects our confidence, affects how we execute things. On the driver's side, if you have a paint scheme that you're really proud of, one just like that up there, William, does it give you more confidence on the track?
I think for sure. I mean, it definitely, when you get out of that race car and you see it, and hopefully in victory lane, it's really cool. It kind of hits home and makes you proud of something. So especially when nowadays we're posting pictures of race cars and doing that on social media. And when you got something that looks good, you want to post more about it, and you want to be proud of it, show your fans, show your friends and everything. So it's going to be fun to see it.
All right, well, we appreciate both of you guys being up here. We're going to cut you both loose so you can either get out of here or go do some more interviews. But either way, we appreciate you being on our live show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll continue the rotation here.
Two great guys right there.
I know.
You got a Hall of Famer, and William Byron, the projector he's on. He's not too bad either, but
not too shabby. In the Xfinity Series playoffs, we didn't get to ask him about that because we were too busy talking about paint schemes and next season. But he's on a little bit of a hot streak.
That kid is amazing. He gets in whatever he needs to get in, and he goes and wins. And speaking of winning, we got 7-time Jimmie Johnson joining us on stage with Chase Elliott as well. Chase, let's start with you. The 9 car and everything that number means to your family. How important is it to you to run that number, and what's it say about Napa for getting behind that number change?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for me. Jimmy and I were talking a few minutes ago. I've gotten kind of used to the 24 this past almost 2 years, so it's going to take some getting used to, but definitely home for me, I think, in that number. It's what I started racing with. The number I've really always ran, except for these past 2 years, if it was available. So pretty special to me, and I think something that everybody can get behind. I don't think you really have to think about that. To me, that kind of is a piece of the puzzle that really just goes well together, and the history is certainly there, and excited to carry it forward.
Can't really ask Jimmy this, but for Chase, when you switch numbers at the beginning of the season, do you find yourself going to the wrong car ever?
Yeah, I don't know. I think. Well, for me, at least, I've been the 9 before, so I'll see that, and the fact that it hasn't been at the track, I'll at least realize that, hey, that thing's back. So I do think that when I'm looking at like a scoring sheet or something, I will definitely mess up on that a lot, probably. So that'll be the biggest confusion, I feel like.
Jimmy, when I think about you, I think about a routine. I think if somebody's very disciplined, you're going to be in the 48 every year, that car is going to be blue and white, but what's it like for you when they pull the cover off the car and you're driving a black 48 with some menacing flat black accents on that hood? I mean, that thing is pretty cool.
It does look sharp. When I saw the renderings coming through on email a few months ago, I was like, really? It's totally different, and I knew there were going to be some changes, but it's great to have some change. We've had black cars with cobalt tools on the race car in the past, and the car looks good. It's going to look really sharp. Hard to beat black. Those yellow numbers are back that the fans love so much, and then carrying the Lowe's for Pros signage on the car. It's really important to Lowe's, and I'm very thankful to have such a big fan base with all the pros that shop at Lowe's, and it'll be fun.
We're in the midst of the playoffs. Both of you guys still contenders. We hit Charlotte this weekend. How are you feeling?
Personally, I'm good. I'm ready to go. After a strong race in Dover, ready to get to Charlotte and get to work, and looking forward to making some laps tomorrow.
Chase?
Yeah, I feel good about it. Obviously, I think we've fired off, these first 3 races probably better, I would say, or as good, if not better, than the majority of our season. And we've had fast cars at times throughout the year, but it's been nice to have that, for the first 3 weeks and have some consistency there. And I think the execution, not just having pace in the cars, but pit stops have been nice the first few weeks. And our race strategy has been good too. So just trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. You have to do that every week, and right now it's clicking pretty good. So we just got to keep that going.
Jimmie, I picked up on something that Dale said earlier in the show. He said that when you run good at Dover, your cars tend to perform well at Charlotte. What is it about? I mean, you're obviously great at both racetracks. You won Charlotte last year. But can you make the correlation between why, 2 different racetracks, very different racetracks, your cars seem to run well at both?
Yeah, they look, very different, obviously, but for whatever reason, the loading characteristics that the car sees, vertical and lateral loads, are very similar between the 2 tracks. I never would have believed it until Chad showed me, in the data itself, and my stats also do speak to that as well, that we've had fast cars at Dover and at Charlotte.
Chase, you've been so close to your first Cup Series win. We thought you had it there in Dover. I know, obviously, you want to win as soon as possible, but when you found out you were moving to the 9, was there just even more incentive to win, to write your name in the history books in the number 24 before you move on to the 9?
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, that's pretty high on my priority list, and obviously you want to run well, and if you do that, it all kind of takes care of itself. But yeah, I mean, the way I see it, it's not so much that I'm excited to go ahead and move on to next year. It's that I have opportunity now, and I have 6 more races to try to, add 1 to the win column in that number before I will no longer ever have the chance to do it again. So I take a lot of pride in that, and we're working hard at it, so we'll see.
And Jimmie, one real quick before we get both you guys out of here. You're the old guy now at Hendrick Motorsports, and I mean, the whole landscape's changed in the past, 3 or 4 years. What's the future look like for HMS? I mean, it seems like the talent is there. You were in the hunt for 8 this year. So what's the future for HMS look like?
I think our future is really bright. A lot of great young talent, clearly. But I think a chemistry and a bond amongst the drivers and the crew chiefs and management that, that it's really deep and only getting stronger and better, and it's going to produce amazing results. And I feel adding this new Camaro to the mix is really going to help us out and put us more competitively in the mix, and looking forward to it. These guys are going to keep me young. I'm young at heart. I refuse to grow up, and I'm really going to be challenged to that here as we roll into the 2018 season.
All right, gentlemen, I think we're done with you here. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you letting us be a part of this Hendrick Motorsports broadcast. But so, yeah, we're going to cut you loose. I don't know if you guys have more interviews to do, or maybe you guys get to go home. Maybe. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, look at that 24. Looks so sharp right there.
That 24 car, I think it's going
to be a fan favorite.
That's going to be a hot diecast, I'll tell you that much right now. But all 4 of these cars, I mean, it's kind of amazing to me that, Hendrick Motorsports has been a staple in this sport for such a long, long time. And I don't know if we've ever seen an organization change so quickly, but from paint schemes to drivers to everything else, it's kind of remarkable, and they seem to have a bright future ahead.
It is. There are a lot of torches being passed, but the cool thing is that the former drivers, the Bill Elliott's, the Jeff Gordons, the Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, they want to play an active role in the current drivers, and so they're always offering up tidbits, tips. They're always there to provide feedback and that sort of thing. You heard it from Jeff right there. So I think that's the cool part is, yes, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is passing the torch to Alex Bowman, but he's probably going to play an active role in helping coach Alex as he makes the transition to the number 88.
Well, certainly we know that Hendrick Motorsports has a stable of drivers who can come in and give a lot of guys a lot of good advice. I mean, Jimmie Johnson, he has 7 titles. Jeff Gordon, he has 4 titles, but most importantly, they have good fans, and those great fans were here tonight. They were watching on Facebook Live, watching on NASCAR.com, and most importantly, we have to thank Hendrick Motorsports for letting us be a part of a very special night.
Yeah, we've enjoyed it very much. So again, thanks for watching on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live. We appreciate you. And again, Hendrick Motorsports for letting us be a part of this evening.